I've had a question about the right hand position on the grip, and Ben's experiencing some damage to his the inside of his hand on the ambidextrous safety, and I wanted to run through a few things with that. Now, I don't have an ambidextrous safety on the test gun, so what I'll do is show you left-handed and possibly show you why it happens, maybe some ways of reducing what's happening. So quickly, okay, so I know here's the safety on the gun, okay. This lever would be on both sides of the gun with an ambidextrous safety. So if you are right-handed, you would see this sticking out the other side of the gun. I'll show you this left-handed. Now what happens is when you're firing, the lever comes down, and there's a potential for you to have contact with that lever, and you can see it in here. Alright, as the gun goes into recoil, that keeps wearing away at the inside of your finger until you get a sore on the inside of your finger. Now, the grip that I have is an Ergo 2, which is fatter. It's a fat grip. And I wondered why it was fat, and then one of my friends told me. The reason it's fatter is for a couple of reasons. One is to put as much of the skin of your hand in contact with the gun for recoil management. And the other one is the effect that it has on the trigger finger. Now, it's important that when you grip the gun, you have this V shape in your hand, okay? And that should be pushed up tight against the back of the pistol grip. Now, with low recoiling guns like 2.2s, it's very easy for your hand to slip round. And as it slips round, this part here, your hand will come into contact with the gun. So if you push it up behind it, on a fat grip, it spreads your fingers out, you get the maximum surface area contact, but it has an effect on your trigger finger. It brings your trigger finger out, and it actually puts the pad of your trigger finger in a better position on the trigger, and it stops people from over inserting the finger and pulling the trigger all over the place. I'll try and show that on the gun. Okay, do it from behind. So what we want to avoid is the hand moving round. As the hand moves round, this part will be flush in contact with the gun. And if you've got an ambidextrous safety, it's going to start rubbing on here. And then you're going to feel all the recoil through this one little bit into the one part of your finger. So the first thing you want to ensure is that the gun is right in the web of it. And that should give you some air here. Now, it's possible, I haven't seen the ambidextrous safety, but it's possible that it's very chunky and it gets in the way. So you may have to take some material off of it. It's down to you what you want to do with the gun. The other thing you can do is wear gloves. And I wear famous white gloves. And I copy everything the Russians do. The Russians wear gloves. I wonder why do they wear gloves? Now with the F12, gas system's all in here, so you're going to have gases coming out of here, so your left hand will get mucky, and I'll show you the extent of it. Here's my left hand. Alright, it was a white glove, so rather than get that on me, I thought I'd get it on the gun. But I couldn't see that as being a massive reason for wearing gloves until when I was loading the gun. With the magazine, I missed the magwell, and I stuffed my hand into it, and I've cut this finger and this finger quite a few times, enough to want to wear gloves. And when you're going fast and you do miss it, it stops damage to your hand. If you damage your left hand, you have problems shooting. I never really got why they wore a right hand glove. Other than it does provide a slightly better bond between your hand and the grip, and it fills all those spaces. Golfing gloves are quite good. They're part real leather and part imitation leather, designed for holding a golf club, designed for being very tight to your hand, and the fit's very snug. So stealing something from another sport, steal everything you can. So award the left one, stop it getting covered in rubbish, provides good grip on the gun, stops the damage to the fingers if you miss that loading port. And if you're going fast, it's quite nasty. Whoops, anyway. The right-handed one, okay, just provides a grip to the pistol grip, okay, and it ensures that you've got all that surface contact for the transfer of the energy out of the gun and into your body when you're trying to deal with recoil. One of the spin-offs of that is, if you're going to have an ambidextrous safety, all right, it's going to provide you some protection. So your hand's in there nice and tight, the V's in there properly, your trigger finger's on the right way. I mean, I can feel the safety catch here, all right. But at least when the gun jumps into recoil, you're not going to get an excessive wear on one part and start getting a blister and damage to the inside of your hand. The other thing is you've got to look at how effective your recoil control is, and have a look at the other video on managing recoil. Because if your body's not in the right position, the gun's not in the right position, there's going to be more recoil, there's going to be more movement. It's going to move this more, it's going to move it more in your hand, and then you'll have the blister again. All right. So one thing to consider is gloves. The other thing is to look closely at your recoil management. I also pulled out another gun here as well, which is a 2.2. Show you the difference. So here we've got a 2.2 with an ergo grip on it. All right, it's a lot thinner. Let me get both guns up here. Okay, so you can see the difference. One's huge, fat, round, and the other one's quite slim. All right. So with a 2.2, it's very easy to start hand drifting around. You don't have to deal with recoil. The gun's not going to jump back on you. All right. So you could have your hand in all sorts of positions. It won't really affect your shooting, and you can be pretty fast with it. The trouble comes when you get a 12 gauge shotgun. It is going to come back at you, and it's going to highlight any weaknesses that you've got, and it's going to magnify them. So you have to make sure that your hand's behind the gun. And show you what I mean. Most people think you shoot like this, but your hand is actually like this, and you're shooting. And there's a difference, okay? And it's all to do with the angle here, all right? It's not here, because then your thumb's going to take the shot. You want it to be here, come straight back into your hand, and the energy travels down your forearm. I did notice the difference when I went from a tube-fed gun. So in a tube-fed gun, your hand isn't behind it, you're just up here. And all the recoil's going into your shoulders. There's very little coming back into your hand. But if you have it here and you're locked in, you are going to deal with some of the recoil. I hope that helps.